Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Amanda. Good morning. Friday is Christmas, and so I would like to say Merry Christmas. We're also in the time of Hanukkah, so I will say Happy Hanukkah. And we had Bodhi Day, Shakyamuni Buddha's enlightenment, so I will say Happy Bodhi Day. You know, the last two don't sound as common as Merry Christmas. And so these days we hear a lot of happy holidays. And this recognition in the last few decades is, I think, placed to include other religions. And we see it a lot in greeting cards now and other signs. And it's to include many other religions, and it's a celebration. So I think that's good, very good. But you know, as non-Christians, do we feel a little awkward about Christmas? It's the dominant theme in December. It celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ, a great teacher. And I remember as a child how I felt different, like I had to defend that I wasn't a Christian. And other people have said they have had similar feelings. For example, for many years, I was in San Jose at the Betsuin, and anytime we would have a large dinner, our Boy Scout troop would march in with the flags. And then before the dinner, the entire group or Sangha would say the Pledge of Allegiance, led by the Scouts. And so several hundred Buddhists, loyal Americans, would be saying in the pledge, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. And many would kind of mutter those words or not say them at all. It was kind of awkward. And many people think that these words have always been in the Pledge of Allegiance. But I'm old, so I can remember as a child in elementary school that we used to say it differently. We used to say, one nation indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then suddenly, one day, it changed, and we began to say, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. And then the nation seemed to become divisible. And I used to wonder why President Eisenhower, you know, as a kid, I looked at the president, you know, why he changed things. Well, actually, it was probably the Congress. But that was done at a time of the McCarthy era when people were afraid of the communists who were atheists. And so I think it was done to make people feel that to be American, you had to be a good Christian. And yet that pledge made many of us who were non-Christians feel a little awkward. We're now at a significant point in our history of democracy. What does it mean to be an American? And how does religion fit into this definition? What is our part as a member of a minority religion in America? There are forces that want to divide. We hear the admonishment of putting Christ back into Christmas, which is fine. But they're saying that the Christian view is the right view. And being an American is to believe in God, Christianity, and we hear, God bless America. And although we know in the Constitution it does not favor one religion over another, the government, especially in the last 4 years, have shown otherwise, as Muslims have found it difficult to enter our country. And it's not just the attitude of the government. When we talk about religion in America, Christianity is the default position. We must remember that in our history, many Europeans felt that they were coming to this country to civilize it and to bring Christianity to the indigenous natives. This attitude of the superiority of Christianity still dominates, and a good percentage of the population wants to make that a reality. And factions there want to keep us separate. However, we might take this opportunity to look at the commonality of religion, to honor the common values of peace, harmony, and acceptance. And I would like to join Christians in celebrating the birth of Jesus. As Buddhists, we welcome non-Buddhists to help us celebrate the birth of Buddha in April for Hana Matsuri. And in summer, we welcome non-Buddhists to join us in Obon, to remember our loved ones who have passed on. Our Mogadana story is not so much about avoiding to become a hungry ghost, but instead there is a lesson about appreciating our parents who did so much for us to succeed. And so we can appreciate our parents. And we see that as non-Buddhists join us in the participation in our dance, our obon odori, they also find that they can reflect back and appreciate their parents and really appreciate what they have done so that we can all exist. And we welcome that. We hope that many people will think more deeply about their loved ones who have died and the efforts that their lives have been put forth so that we can have a better life. It's wonderful to have so many people join us in obon dancing. Things have changed since I was a child. Movies, TV shows, even commercials really show a more diverse scene. And even if it's to sell more products to a diverse audience, I think it makes everyone feel better. Our children feel much more included. I like to share my own evolution of my own self-consciousness about being a Buddhist in America. As a young person, I felt inferior and accepted the thoughts of many non-Buddhists of what Buddhism was. Many Americans think of Buddhism as being something exotic and otherworldly, and they wonder about our rituals and our vague concepts, of the afterlife. But as I matured and learned more about Buddhism, I realized that Buddhism is based on truth and that it can be verified. Whereas many Western religions base their truth on belief or mythology. Many Westerners are turning to Buddhism since its principles are similar to those of science. One of the most significant contributions of Buddhism is Bodhi Day, where a human being, Siddhartha Gautama, became enlightened to become Shakyamuni Buddha. That meant that each one of us, a human, can awaken to truth. As we awaken, we become more Buddha-like, wise, compassionate, kind, accepting, and giving. So let's share that with others. It's based on our own experience as to what is real. It's not based on a belief like many other religions. The Buddha advised us to be a lamp unto ourselves. And we do this by refining our hearts and minds and awaken to know what is real and true. Some religions seem to validate the religion by examples of how belief trumps reality, pun intended. We see this in the pandemic. Some Christian churches have defied health authorities by holding indoor services with no masks, close physical contact. Unfortunately, some have gotten the virus and some have died. I don't think any Shin Buddhist minister would plan an indoor service with no mask, no social distancing, and say that it is a demonstration of the truth of the Dharma. Another example of differences is that miracles seem to validate some religions. Whenever a prayer is answered by something that goes against the natural laws, it seems to validate a religion. In Buddhism, life itself is a miracle, and natural laws are cherished and observed. My point is that in modern life, many mysteries that were attributed to God have been uncovered by science, and Buddhism is attractive to many contemporary thinkers. Practice of Buddhism can improve our lives. Many principles of Buddhism are widely accepted. How many uses do you see the word Zen? We see it in magazines, on TV, all over. When they use the word Zen, these are the qualities and characteristics of Buddhism. Buddhism is part of American culture. Is America becoming more Buddhist? Buddhism helps our minds to see true reality. The rituals, myths, and stories are means to point to a deeper truth. Our myths and stories are not to be taken literally. Upaya or hoben means that we use skillful means of teachings. Many religions depend on supernatural for validation. In Buddhism, we rely on our own experience and teachings to be real, but we remain humble as we acknowledge that we only know a portion of truth. I have come to feel confident in being a Buddhist in a non-Buddhist nation. Others respect Buddhism because its followers, or Sangha, seem to be consistent with the teachings. We're compassionate, accepting, grateful. Of course, we also do other human things. But rather than feel that we are different, I think we should feel proud that harmony, peace, love, and compassion are basic attitudes of Buddhists. We join other religions in promoting these higher attributes. So let's find common values brought forth by Christmas and teach our children the similarities and some differences of the ideas of Buddhism and Christianity. That would mean that we might learn more about Buddhism, but learning more about Buddhism is beneficial for everyone. Buddhism is a path for each of us to make life better for ourselves, our families, and others. In America, Christmas is a national holiday. Governments, schools, and many businesses, except for retail, are closed. There are expectations of children. Santa Claus is now the main personality of Christmas. Giving gifts is very common. And this matches the Japanese custom of acknowledging the efforts of others at the end of the year. People act more friendly toward each other, and diversity is encouraged by many groups to celebrate this time of year. In December, we celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, winter solstice, and Bodhi Day. We all have the common themes of family, appreciating nature, appreciating people who have helped us. We think of community, spirituality. Let's all openly enjoy the season. During this time of social distancing, it is an ideal time to evaluate our life patterns. We have to be mindful just when we have to go to the store to buy groceries. We have to be conscious of how we interact with our family and friends. And we have to think about whether meeting with our loved ones may put them in jeopardy. And we realize how important and valuable it is to be with them physically. So we look at things we took for granted, and now we look in deep introspection and really appreciate them. So this is an ideal time to learn more about Buddhism. And many people are interested in it. We have our BCA website that shows many Dharma talks from many temples. The website everydaybuddhist.org is online, also Todo Institute. So we can really awaken to a Buddhist life. Buddhism is not about petitioning the universe to change the causes and conditions to make our life better. Buddhism is about waking up to the reality and appreciating life, and then sharing the joy. So let's be part of society to bring nations together. Common themes of religions. We like to say, Merry Christmas, Happy Bodhi Day. Let's be part of America that is bringing people together, celebrating what we have in common, sharing our teachings. And gratitude is our entry into the deeper aspects of Shin Buddhism. Thank you being our first step to the awakening to the gift of the Nembutsu. So please join me in expressing our deepest appreciation and help me in celebrating Christmas and Bodhi Day. Gassho, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.